We are recording. So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on what time you listen to the sound of our voices. I am so glad that you're here with us in the Confidence Factor for Women in Leadership. And today, our conversation will be with my dear friend, Dr. Cortney Baker. So let me just give you a small introspective of her actual bio so that you know who you're getting ready to hear from. She is an executive leadership specialist, the CEO of Kids Care Therapy, which employs over 300 people and actually assists over 2,300 pediatric patients. She's the author of the 10 Do's and Don'ts for Business and Lessons to Lead Effectively. She's my friend, a sister from another mother. I don't know how in the world our mothers didn't collide, but I always say destiny collides when it's ready. And so she's here with us today. Hello, Dr. Baker. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, Carol. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
So I can only give but so much of your bio, but how would you introduce yourself if you had to introduce the version of you that you actually know?
The version of me, I think that it's so important that people know my roots, that I actually started this adult journey as a single teenage mom when I was 19. And to go from that to owning a multi-million-dollar company and having my doctorate degree when, 2% of single teenage moms don't even go on to college. Or I'm sorry, 2%, only 2% finish college. It's just that, so that's one of the things I think I'm most proud of, is that I wasn't one of those 98%, because I believed that I had better for me.
What do you think that actually was the driving factor of you not wanting to be, and I'm going to put quotations around it, statistic for what single mothers normally is statistically possibly considered for as far as their professional future?
So what was in me that said that I didn't want to be a statistic? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's funny because, and there is nothing wrong with being an assistant or someone's helping in a helping capacity. But when I was growing up, I would tell my dad, I want to be a physician assistant, or I would say something and he'd say, why do that when you could be a physician? Or why do this if you could do that? And it was always, I was always pushed to strive for more. And so when I got pregnant at 18, I didn't look at that as a roadblock. I looked at that as a hurdle. And there's a difference. Hurdles are meant to be overcome. And roadblocks mean you go back, or you find a dead end.
An alternate way.
Mhm.
So you saw it as more of a hurdle.
It was a hurdle, yeah, and it complicated things, but that didn't mean that I shut down.
What do you think that was the guiding moment? What do you think was the thing? Because everybody has a thing. What was the thing that said, not today, you're not going to have me. I'm going past this hurdle. What's that thing that happened?
In life, my sister died when I was 16. And I think for me, just being able to accomplish and do the things that she didn't get to do was always kind of an underlying foundational driving force, because she had multiple sclerosis and she died when she was 20. And she had such admiration for me. And that really, she was just so proud of me, even, you know, when I was 16, of the things that I was able to do. And I knew, like, just moving forward, that I was going to do whatever I could to continue to do what she couldn't do.
Wow.
I'm so
I love
sorry.
That. That's okay.
Let me go outside. My dog says
okay.
hi.
That's okay. So let's fast forward a bit. So you build this company, and what do you think that was the thing that actually drove your passion to start and develop kids care therapy? Like, what's the defining moment or the defining thing that allowed you to discover your passion to develop this company?
Well, that's I know exactly what it was. So I was 28 years old, and you know everything when you're 28.
Yeah.
And or 9 is what my daughter thinks, but
exactly.
That's a different story. I was 28, and I walked into my new employer's office, and I'd been there maybe about 4 months, and they did pediatric home care as well. And I loved what I was doing, but I heard the owners talking and laughing about how employees were replaceable.
Wow.
And that was a defining moment for me. I said, you know what? Why be someone's unvalued, undervalued, unappreciated employee when I could be my own boss? And that was my defining moment in my journey. And I do public speaking now, and that's part of my speech, is going into a business consultant's office afterwards saying, you know, hey, I want to start this company, and he told me 3 times not to. And
wow.
I pretty much looked him in the face, and I said, listen here, buddy, I'm going to do this thing with or without you. You can get on board, but I don't need you. So do you want the job or not? And he liked my spunk, so he helped me.
Well, that's a lot of fun for you to tell me I'm going to do it anyway. Because,
yeah.
Most business consultants, forgive me for I am one, but most business consultants feel like when they tell you shouldn't do it, that's it. Instead of figuring out what do we need to do to make sure that there is a need in the market for what you do. And I think that's why so many business consultants get such a bad rap, because they don't figure out if there's a need in the market. They just do it from their own selfish point of view. As I digress. LOL.
But that's true, and he saw that I was passionate about doing it.
Yeah.
And then, and I was persistent, so I didn't take no for an answer 3 times. And
love it.
Then he conceded, and so that was, Kids Care will be 13 next month. So.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, how has the last 13 years been, if you don't mind me asking?
Amazing. When you step out of your way and just let God do what God does. So we grew from, it was me seeing 10 patients to, you said, we have over 2,200 now. And I worked myself out of a job about 4 years ago and went back, and that's when I got my doctorate degree in organizational leadership, and decided that my purpose and passion is really helping other people, other women, not in a coaching capacity, but more of a consulting role of helping them achieve their dreams. And, what is it that you want to do? So that's kind of where I am now. I mean, these last 13 years have been incredible.
Wow. Well, you know what? Honestly, I'm proud of you, because here's the thing that I see a lot that happens in the confidence factor, just being completely honest, because we no longer coach in that capacity. But I still do talk to a lot of the women who are subscribers and members of the organization. And what I see are women who start something, stop. Will start, stop. And here's the thing, this is one thing I love that you said. They let the hurdles turn into roadblocks. So they see a hurdle, but they don't think of it as something to overcome. They think of it as an objection, and they go back to a place of security. So they may go back to a job, or they may go back to kind of complaining and going into this melancholy in their own thoughts and not allowing themselves to progress. And so when I meet women who've been 13 years out of their own way, it's a huge accomplishment, because some women don't make 13 minutes, 13 months, 13 anything. Many of them do give up and retreat. I guess my question for you would be, what has led you to never retreat within the 13 years of growing kids care?
I will tell you, in the beginning, that was, so we went through a period where it was really, really, really bad in the beginning, which, I mean, I think a lot of people experience that. And my husband was working nights in a warehouse, and he came home on Fridays when I'd call and find out that we didn't get paid once again. And he'd come home and I'd have the covers over my head, and he'd walk in. This happened a couple times, and he'd walk in and he'd be like, "Get up, what are you doing?" If it were easy, everyone would do it. Get up, get out of bed. You got a job to do. You started this, now go. You have a passion for this. And so surrounding yourself with different conversations and positive support is key. I heard a quote recently, and it was, "You can't be who you were and who you're going to be at the same time."
Wow. Can't be who you were and who you're going to be at the same time. Wow. You know, ironically, you say that. Last night I did a Periscope, and by the time this is released, it'll probably be deleted by then, but I'll tell you briefly what it said. I was talking about the fact that I was comparing the lack of growth of women leaders to old clothes in the closet, and the fact that so many of us as women have something in our closet, in our physical closet, that doesn't fit, hasn't fit in a long time, it's out of style, but we will struggle to lose the weight to fit into something that no longer serves us. And so we will get on Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, stop eating, water diet. It will get on everything to lose the weight to fit into something that no longer fits us, instead of saying, I have to embrace what I have today. And today, I'm now a size 20. Back then, I was a size 10. And instead of me worrying about how to get back to a place of where I was when I was most courageous, most confident, most aware and feeling good about myself, why can't I feel good about the body that I'm in? And how I related that to confidence is, most of us don't keep the right people around us because of the fact that we are trying to worry about fitting in with them instead of worrying about attracting a crowd that's going to fit in with where we're going. And the unfortunate reality for us is we don't mind taking on all the small thinkers and the small talkers and the small dreamers because we don't want to be alone. And so I'm so happy that you said that the inner circle works, because throughout these conversations we've been having, every woman who's been a part of and attached to this 7-figure series has said, coaching, mentoring, inner circle, coaching, mentoring, inner circle, coaching, mentoring, inner circle, nonstop, because we have to get to a point of awareness that our inner circle matters to how we are able to grow. And if you wear anything too small, you know that you'll be restricting yourself from growth. And it will look odd on you when you're trying to have your big conversations with small thinkers. So I'm happy that you said the inner circle. But how did you identify your inner circle? How did you start getting into finding who needed to be around Dr. Baker?
It is identifying people that are like-minded, that believe in you. So the first part of my inner circle that is so crucial was my husband. Now, I have had people who I've talked to who don't have a supportive spouse, and that's hard.
Yeah.
So that was key for keeping kids care rolling. But really, my church group, they're my life group. I mean, they're my lifers, and they are so supportive and always asking, what's going on? How can we support you? How can we pray for you? How can we help you? And, the feeling is mutual. I mean, it's really, we have a core group that is so tight. And they will, but it's also an honest group. I mean, there were things that, there were times that people would say things that were hard to hear, but I knew what their intention was nothing but love, and it was to better me. And so you definitely have to change the conversation of what you feel you're worth too.
Right.
Because it's not only the external conversation, it's the internal conversation.
Internal conversation, yes. Yeah. Oh, that's deep. Okay. So I'm getting ready to wrap up, but here's the thing I want to, I guess I want to extract from you, because, you are an expert in this field. One of the things that we are trying to do in this new level is we're trying to get women to dream of themselves bigger than they currently are. Women often tend to stick in circles. I shouldn't say stick in circles. They tend to get stuck in circles, not stick. They tend to get stuck in circles where they don't think 7 and 8 and 9 figures are possible, because the emotional reality and the emotional attachment to our likes and our desires are hard when we can't see how it's going to manifest itself. So if we had to ask you for 3 things that every woman should do to, number 1, get out of her own way. Number 2, the conversation she should be having with herself. And number 3, what she should be doing right now to put herself in that category of where her desires should be directed, what would you say they will be?
First, well, this is hard to do in a 3 parts for me, because I do have something that I would walk them through, and it would be to close your eyes and imagine that you are at your 80th birthday toast, your 80th birthday party, and someone stands up, and it's your best friend or your husband or your son or daughter, whoever, and says, I want to propose a toast, and I'm going to talk about how my mom or whoever, best friend, changed the world. How did they make a difference? How did they earn her air today? How did she give back? And this is what they would say. Whatever it is, what are they going to say?
Wow.
So then consider, what would you want them to say? And there's your gap.
That's fascinating. Your 80th birthday, you're about to give a toast. What would you want them to say? I think that's more profound than any tip you can actually give, because I don't think many of us think about what people would say about us on our 80th. I don't think we think that far ahead, not because we're worried about the mortality or we're not worried about age. We don't think about what people say about us in the light of saying, she was a great, you fill in your own blank. She was a great leader. She was a great mom. She was a great role model. What is she? And so that is fascinating. So I would
That's
say
part of my speech too, and I have them do it. Yeah.
That is, oh my gosh, like that. I have to start thinking about that because honestly, I want to see what they're going to say at my 50th birthday.
Well, yeah, that's your legacy.
Yes.
What are you going to be known for?
What am I going to be remembered for?
Yeah. And you're creating that person every single day. You're writing your legacy every day. So what's it going to be?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you for
like I said, no, thank you for agreeing to be here. Like I said, these conversations are about having honest and organic talks around leadership, mentorship, guidance, and just knowing the better part of ourselves that we would have want to be as leaders and as women leaders. So I'm thankful that you are a part of it. I'm thankful you for all your contributions to the confidence factor, not only for me personally and professionally, but for many of the women who have been in my alignment, who are connected to you, and all of the great work that you're doing and all the great work that we are going to continue to do. I have all of your marketing collateral, so everything will be put up. And I'm just honored that you spent this time with me, Dr. Baker. I can't thank you enough.
I know, and we need to get together more often.
Yes, we do. We got to have those virgin margaritas that we promised each other.
That's right. We sure do. I'd love it.
Well, thank you so much once again. And
okay, no problem.